Yo, what's up guys, the Insane Game Freak. Yeah! I am way too excited for that. And which is funny because this is going to be what I call a rant video. Now this video is going to kind of mix in two different things. The original purpose of this video was the whole Rich of Review Tech USA had made a video talking about how Nintendo should be petitioning to get, games like Destiny and other third-party games the Wii U doesn't have. And then the Project Cars bullshit hits the fan and now I'm like, I need to talk about both because both kind of intertwine. So I'm going to start with the whole Nintendo aiming for third-party thing, and I should end up in the car section if we do this right. So let's get to it. Okay, so the thing that pissed, and for those who don't know, the video simply is just talking about how there's a petition of Nintendo fans on change.org saying, please bring Destiny onto the Wii U. And Rich's response is what it always has been. Nintendo should try to get more third party. And one of the suggestions he brings up is that you start buying third party, and yes, you'll take a loss at the beginning, but you'll build up a third party fan base on the console, and in the long run it'll benefit you. That is a mindset that needs to go away because people don't understand the problem with it. Now Rich himself is a person who does not like the concept of time DLC. I think he said it either in his, it was somewhat recently in one of his videos, whether it was something related to E3 or something. I think it was like Call of Duty, or Call of Duty, where like the PS4 was getting a certain DLC pack before the Xbox One, and he mentioned how he hates time DLC. Now for those who don't really realize, time DLC for the most part is just a company buying the rights to have the DLC first on their platform versus another console. That's all it is. So you have no problem, you hate that, but you have no problem with Nintendo paying developers to get the game ported onto the console. Now people think that that his idea is great, and people think similar to this. This is the problem with that fucking idea I can't stand. Nintendo wouldn't just have to buy the game. Just having the game doesn't do shit for them. It doesn't do shit in the long run, because they had fucking Assassin's Creed before, they had Batman before, Need for Speed, fucking Tekken, and guess what? They don't have any of the sequels. Well, I don't think Tekken has a sequel out, but I'm just saying, none of the sequels came. We got Arkham Origins, but it was gimped. We got Assassin's Creed, we're not getting Unity, we're not getting Arkham Knight. I don't even think there's another Need for Speed game announced, but you get the point I'm trying to make here. Just having the game isn't enough. They would not only have to pay for just to get the game, they had to pay for getting all of the features that the game has on the other consoles, which apparently would not seem like a problem, but apparently is a big ass fucking issue because it always seems to happen to Nintendo ports of third-party games. They would also have to keep the consistent support for the game in the form of DLC, so we don't have an injustice situation where motherfuckers are like, well, we didn't put the game on the Wii U, we didn't put the DLC at the same time because Nintendo never called us. Because apparently, people are so fucking incompetent that I have to call you to make sure you do something you should be doing in the first place. That's just something that always irked me when I heard that. I heard that whole reasoning behind injustice. That was such a dumbass reason in my opinion. And once again, we didn't get like the fucking full collection of the game on the Wii U either, but that's a different story. Anyways, you have to pay for the support, pay for the DLC, make sure you get the game, and you would have to consistently do this for every game. And why is it every game, you may ask? Well, it may have something to do with the fact that we have no support on our fucking console. So it has to be every game. That means they have to consistently do this and remain, and I guess if anything this will improve their way of handling third-party relations, but it also perpetuates a stigma in the gaming industry that you have to buy in order to sell your own console to people. If Nintendo sets the precedent of, in order for you to put a third-party game on our console, we have to pay you for it. Do you really think third parties are going to be cool enough to just put the game on the console? No, if they can get paid to port a game onto the console, they don't give a flying fuck because they're getting paid before the game even releases for the game. Why? How does it? That puts Nintendo at the mercy of third parties. Like, spread your ass cheek and I'm going to fuck you hard, and then I'm going to pay you for raping me. That's how bad of a position you would put Nintendo would be in to do it this way. And the thing is, it doesn't make the PS4 or Xbox One or even the PC version of the game less desirable. All it fucking does is go, hey, here's a 5th system it's on. Well, no, 5th, 4th, 6th if you include the Xbox 360 and PS3. And that's the fucking problem. You're perpetuating a stigma. You set a stupid ass precedent for yourself so no one wants to port a game to your console, and it's not like half of these games are going to sell well because once again you have to kill their kiddie image. Now I understand Nintendo's philosophy is that they're for everybody, but realistically most gamers don't view them as a company for everyone. Most gamers view them as a kiddie company. In order to break that stigma, they would have to be consistently dropping the same games as all the other consoles with the same level of care, the same level of support, the same DLC support and online support that the other consoles get for at least a good few years. It won't even really help the Wii U. It'll help their next console, just not the Wii U. And why is that? Because they're probably it's gonna take at least a generation to fix that stigma. That stigma that's been set in partially through the GameCube, but really perpetuated by the Wii era of Nintendo. That's what bugs the shit out of me, and that's a lot of money you gotta throw away on games that may or may not even be worth the time or effort. That is what bugs the shit out of me with that mindset. You cannot just do that and expect, yeah, that'll work out in the long run. No! Yeah, it's like people don't realize how human beings are. If I can get away with fucking murder, you think I'm gonna turn myself in? No one gives a fuck about morals or honor anymore. So if I can fucking force you to pay me to port my game onto your console, well, if the game bombs, I already got paid for, and if it does well, that's more money on the money I already got to get you to pay me to port the game. Great, that's perfect business for Nintendo anyway. You had to kill a stigma. That's a ridiculous amount of money you gotta throw at a game that may or may not be good. And on top of all of that, we already know that it doesn't turn away people from the PS4 version or the Xbox One version of a game or the PC version of the game. Which also means the game has to include a competent gamepad exclusivity feature to it. Whether it's something as simple as a map or something as complex as using the touchscreen for something like hacking or whatever. The point is, it has to include some important part of it that you can only do on the Wii U just to sell that version of the game, so Nintendo has some level of hope to make some of the money back. And if that isn't, and in that case, you've now spent a ridiculous amount of money on a game that probably didn't sell well on your console because the stigma for the fucking console is still there, and no one looks at Nintendo consoles to play certain types of games. By the time you fix that mentality, you have lost a ridiculous amount of money in one generation on a console that just recently started being sold at a profit again. Why would you do that? And it's like, well, in the long run, well, okay, look. A ridiculous amount of money lost, a ridiculous amount of effort you had to put in to do that, and there still isn't any guarantee that's going to work. Dead ass. I mean, let's think about it this way. The Wii U has a bigger install base than the Xbox One, and the Xbox One is getting every fucking port under the sun. So obviously sales don't mean that goddamn much. Install bases don't mean that goddamn much. But oh shit, which is why I hate that mindset. But let's jump into the Project Cars situation now, don't we? I should have said shall we, I apologize. Now the Project Cars situation kind of goes into the issue with third party I'm currently having. The issue with third party we're currently having is, well, it's part of the issue, I guess. But for those who don't know about the Project Cars situation, Project Cars was made by, I think it's called Slightly Mad Studios. These are some ex-Need for Speed members that ended up making their own indie development company. Project Cars, for all intents and purposes, is an indie racing simulation game. Originally, the game was slated for PC, Wii U, Xbox 360, and PS3. At some point in time, we pretty much switched out PS3 and Xbox 360 for Xbox One and PS4. But the Wii U and PC stayed consistent. And then a few days ago, or probably just yesterday to be perfectly honest, Bandai announced, because Bandai had recently gained the publishing rights for that game, recently announced that the Wii U version of the game would be delayed until next year. Now granted, it's the only version of the game being delayed, and on top of that, it's the most sought after, it's the most anticipated version of the game. Particularly because of the obvious reason that Nintendo doesn't have a racing sim on their fucking console, so the thing literally is competing against nothing of that genre on the console. But whatever's. That's not mine that even on the poll on this site that the Wii U version was the most anticipated version. Nope. And then Slightly Mad Studios came out with a press release statement talking about the reason why the Wii U version is going when it's delayed is because the PS1 and Xbox One have PC-like architecture. It's easy to just port that game over, which is true, and the Wii U has a different architecture, which makes it harder to develop for, and they're saying they need more time because of the architecture to get the best out of the game. Here's my problem with that, though. You've been working on the Wii U version first. The Wii U version would have been the hardest version to port, which is the version you just happen to be spending the most time with. So what does that tell me? That tells me either you did not work on the Wii U version at all, which I don't think is true, or you used the PC build as a basis and said, well, since the PS1 and Xbox One are just like PCs, porting the shit wouldn't take really any time at all, and you're just now working on the Wii U version. That's the only thing in my mind that will really make any sense. But that's just me. But this is the problem, and I've heard a lot of Nintendo fans who are rightfully pissed. Some of you who actually crowdfunded the fucking thing before it even got started, when it first got started, and you had to pay money to get into the beta. Or the Nintendo fans that's just kind of like, why the fuck are we getting mistreated again by getting a later version of the same goddamn game? Both legit reasons to be angry at this third-party publisher. And this comes into another part about the gaming community that pisses me the fuck off. Is when you talk down to Wii U owners and Nintendo fans saying, we only buy Nintendo games, but you can, I swear, can you name me one Nintendo game that hasn't suffered from the following? A delay, a later port than a delay would be the same thing as a later port than everyone else, a port that's missing features, a port that's missing DLC, a port that was either claimed that was in some form and time between when it was announced and when it was released, was lied. We were lied to in some way, shape, or form, a la, Rayman Legends, or in this case, Project Cars, in which we were told the game would come out for this console during this month of this year, and then it was said, nope, we're gonna not only delay your version of the game, but we're also going to port it to other consoles. So yes, we lied about everything except for the fact that it is still coming to your console. Or the Watch Dogs situation, which is the same goddamn thing. None of our third-party games have been like that. The closest we get are the games that just get delayed. And because most of them are either lesser versions of the game or bullshit-ass ports. Or if we get good ports, they're insanely late. Like Need for Speed. Like fucking Batman. Not Arkham Origins, that was a piece of shit on the Wii U, considering how much, and that made me mad just purely because it was the same goddamn development studio doing both games, and you didn't even keep the base cool gamepad features you had in Arkham Origins Armored Edition. So what the fuck happened for Arkham City Armored Edition? So what the fuck happened to Arkham Origins that kept none of those features? And you can look that up online to prove my point. So it pisses me off that it's like either Nintendo, you pay for third parties, or you just get this. And then people look at Nintendo fans and go, why don't you buy your third party games if you want them so badly? Nintendo fans only play Nintendo games. Side note, just to talk about Rayman Legends, because that was probably one of the better third party ports we got. The only thing that game suffered was being delayed for Wii U owners, but we still got the game the same time as everybody else. It was the same quality, had its Wii U exclusive features with the gamepad touch control for the Murphy levels, and guess the fuck what? Out of all the Rayman Legends versions of that fucking game that's come out, the Wii U is the second highest sold out of all the versions. That in myself proves that game would have been fucking fine. And guess what? We also got the previous version on the Wii. So there was already a fan base there. This is what pisses me off. Niggas want to look at us Nintendo fans like we just don't give a fuck about third party. But the truth of the matter is, we have yet to run into a third party situation that treats us fair unless it's a Nintendo Wii U exclusive from the get-go. Unless it's a Wii U exclusive from the get-go, and that rarely seems to stay the fucking thing for too damn long with a lot of these fucking companies, we get fucked in one way or another. Either the delay, or dropping quality, or missing modes. Fuck you, Sniper Elite V3. Piece of shit. And then you look at us and go, it's your fault. You know what that is? You know what? Here's a cool metaphor for you. That's like being cheated on by your wife consistently, and then when you divorce her, getting cussed out by everybody about why did you divorce your cheating ass wife. What the fuck? And what makes it worse is that people mock the shit out of the Wii U version of a game, even when it is the definitive version of the game, like in some cases of maybe like Tekken and fucking Rayman and fucking Need for Speed. When we get the third party port, then niggas want to get on the Wii U about, oh well, it's late or it's delayed. What do you fuckers want? Seriously. And see, it wouldn't even bug me as much about these ports if the companies themselves then use these shitty ports or these late ports or these ports that had no chance in hell of doing well as a reasoning for not to continue support for the console. You delayed Rayman Legends and lied to the Wii U fanbase. And then you're mad when the Wii U version is only the second highest, and you're mad it didn't sell well from the get-go. Well, I wonder why, Ubisoft. Maybe it's because you fucking did all those things. But then you'll sit there and say, well, because of the low sales of that and Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, which I think is missing a fucking mode, by the way. Assassin's Creed 4, which is missing fucking DLC, by the way. With all these other games you released, you did nothing to make the Wii U, and then what makes it even worse is you guys shoot yourself in the foot even when announcing these games. What was it? Batman Arkham Origins. We didn't even know the fucking thing was coming to the console until after, like a few months after it was fucking announced. We were still skeptical about the goddamn DLC for the fucking game. And then we also found out, oh, guess what? On top of all that other shit and making the Wii U fanbase anxious as fuck, guess what? Guess what else? You don't get the multiplayer, bitch! Whew. And then people go, well, I don't understand why it didn't sell well on the Wii U. I don't know, maybe because you made us paranoid as fuck for months. You took shit out of the game and then looked at us and go, you better buy this game or you're not getting Arkham Knight. And everyone in the Nintendo fanbase was like, you're out of your fucking minds. And they did this. They did this with not only that game. The same thing with Call of Duty. And it's probably going to happen this year, where the Wii U version isn't announced with the other versions. That in itself is enough of a blow to make people go, well, I don't know if I want to fuck with this version, because it wasn't even announced with everything else. And it makes you question, why is that? Call of Duty Ghosts was not announced for the Wii U, I don't think, from the get-go. We still didn't get the same support, because the previous Call of Duty games didn't get full fucking support on the console. And guess the fuck what? That's exactly what happened here. But oh, you got the free DLC pack that everybody got when they bought the game like 4 or 5 months later. It was this. You out of your fucking minds. And then you look at the Nintendo fanbase like, why didn't you buy it? Why didn't you buy it? What do you fucking mean why I didn't buy it? You didn't fucking... We didn't even know it was coming out until like 3 months before it released. Fuck you. Why even bother releasing the game when you know it's going to sell like shit? Or do you need to give this appearance that you someone give a fuck? Like Nintendo fans don't look at you and think you're full of shit. Nintendo fans have no trust in third parties because no one has given us a reason to. Why? Because you keep perpetually lying to us. You either lie to us or you don't tell us everything, or you just change your fucking mind and contradict yourself later on in the goddamn year. So the hype that most people had for Call of Duty Ghosts Wii U fans are in the back like, God, I hope we get this game. That's why when we got news rumors about new modes and new shit in the game for Call of Duty Ghosts, Nintendo fans are still making rumors about, I hope we get this game, I hope we get this DLC, I hope we get this fucking support, and guess the fuck what? We don't, and then you sit there and you wonder why your game doesn't sell well. You don't have good third-party relations with Nintendo fans. Am I saying Nintendo didn't do some shit to you guys in the past? No, but I'm saying this shit is not helping you. You probably have all of you have probably wasted money porting all of these half-ass games. So then it brings me back to the Project Cars situation. Am I going to get that game? As a Nintendo fan and as someone who does like third-party games, I have honestly had to admit to myself, the best thing we can possibly get in this situation is a game being delayed but still having the same quality content as the other third-party games. I still intend to get Watch Dogs and Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut and Project Cars. As long as they don't remove shit from the game and look at me like I'm stupid and ask me why did I not buy this. If the game still has the full content, I will pay full price for Project Cars. If it has the same content and they really put in the effort for the Wii U version, I'll pay for that. That's why I bought Rayman Legends. Because even though that game is on other console, they gave me the full support of the original game. Every game had the same shit. Tekken Wii U Edition deserved the money. Need for Speed deserved the money. Batman Arkham City Armored Edition deserves the money. And Project Cars deserves the money. I don't think a quality game should suffer because of a developer's stupid ass decision. But if the game is a piece of shit by the standards of the rest of the game's ports, and the company's a piece of shit on top of that, fuck you, you're not getting the money. But you'll get the money if the game is competent. That is the compromise I make. That is my compromise. I know a lot of people disagree. I have no problem with you disagreeing. But I swear to God, and what makes me mad is niggas will still be in the back like, oh, Nintendo fans don't support their games. Oh, okay. We don't support the games that don't support us from developers who constantly lie to us. They lie. They fucking mislead us. They don't even tell us about the game being for the Wii U. We have to run around and make speculations. We have to look through the source code of the fucking teaser site just to get some tidbit of a Wii U version. Call of Duty won't probably be announced for the Wii U until fucking September. And guess what? Everybody already knows that their version is coming out. And then Treyarch will try to do their best to support the game, and I'll look at Activision and go, did you expect this version to sell well? You didn't promote the fucking game! And this is the cycle Nintendo lives in. You either pay to get out of the fucking box and lose a shit ton of money in the process, and start looking like fucking Sony, who's smiling on the outside but bleeding in the inside, and you perpetuate a nasty stigma we already hate in the gaming industry. And all for what? So I can get Destiny on my fucking Wii U. Fuck it, I'm done. I'm done, that's bullshit. If the game is quality and I'm getting a fair version of the game like everybody else, I don't have a problem buying it. But if it's a bullshit version, fuck you. Fuck you if it's delayed. Fuck you if it's missing modes. Fuck you if we don't get consistent DLC and support. Fuck you. And Nintendo fans will continue to have this attitude towards your fucking company because you spent the entire time of the announcement of your fucking game talking shit about us or just fucking hiding the fact that the game is even coming out for our console. Yeah. And you wonder why Nintendo fans have such a bad rap with third parties. Nintendo may have made mistakes in the past, but at the same fucking time, you guys ain't clean either. Sick ass motherfuckers. I'm tired of this shit. Life's a game, play to win. Catch you guys later. Peace. Can't even snap.